Troy Gay with the Austin Police Department, and I'm here joined with Assistant Chief Sheets from the University of Texas. We're here to talk about an incident which occurred on the 9/11 at approximately 3 o'clock in the morning. It was very unfortunate that morning that officers had to respond to a frat party at the 2701 Natchez, which is the Sigma Chi fraternity house. Officers were responding to a call to where shots were fired. When officers were on scene, they learned that a security guard had been shot in the foot. Luckily, it was not a life-threatening injury to the security guard. They quickly ascertained what had taken place and tried to contain the area. There was 3 persons that they believed were involved with this incident and had left and were not located. Fortunately, our detectives, we responded, we worked with the University of Texas, and we were able to identify the suspect. The suspect was identified as a Daniel McGee, white male, 11/27 of 1997. What we learned is that Daniel McGee was at the party that night. He was heavily intoxicated. He actually, when interviewed, had admitted that he was also on Xanax that night. He was causing a disturbance, and the security guard actually had him leave the party. He was not happy that he had to leave the party, highly intoxicated. He left. He had told the security guard that he was going to come back with a weapon. Of course, at that point, no call was made to the police department at that time, but as he had told the security guard, he did return. He did return with 2 of his roommates. His roommates were unaware of what was going to occur, other than that they were going to return to have conversation with the security guard because in the initial altercation he had dropped his phone and it broke. When the security guard came outside to ascertain what was going on, when one of the roommates had asked the security guard to step out, our suspect, Daniel McGee, has shot 1 time, shooting our victim in the foot. He was taken to Brackenridge, the security guard. He was treated. He did stay overnight, but has been released since. Our detectives quickly were able to identify the suspect through people at the party. We can confirm that Daniel McGee has not and was not a student of the University of Texas, nor his roommates. They did live in the vicinity of the fraternity in the West Campus area, but none of the roommates nor Daniel were UT students. I can also say that Daniel McGee was not a CHL holder. He did not have a license to carry a weapon. I know that there is a lot of concerns about open carry, as well as it being at the close proximity of the University of Texas, but we can assure you that we believe that this was an isolated incident. This was a disturbance that took place. Anytime that you have a situation to where alcohol is involved, people do not make good decisions, and in this case, the subject did come back with a weapon. The roommates were unaware that Daniel actually had a firearm with him when they went back. Those 2, although they were questioned, will not be charged with anything at this time. Other than that, during the search warrant, because the suspect was located, we had a search warrant for his residence as well as a vehicle, and in that search warrant, we located an AK-47 as well as a .40 caliber weapon. We do not believe either of these weapons are the weapons that were used in the initial shooting. We believe that Daniel discarded the weapon somewhere when he was running away from the scene. That weapon has not been located at this time. Due to the weapon being discarded, I would just put a safety bulletin out there that clearly, if you locate a weapon in that particular area, please contact the police. Do not handle the weapon. As with any weapon that you discover, you should believe that it's a dangerous weapon and it could be loaded. So please contact the police if you see that. We are continually wanting to get more information on this particular case. So if you are a student that will, or a resident of Austin, or anyone that was here from out of town that actually attended the fraternity party that has information, please contact our police department. We have our Crime Stoppers line as well as the APD tip line. So do you have any questions?
What is he being charged with?
He is being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a second-degree felony. He is being held on a $50,000 bond.
Anything for having the weapons without the CHL license?
Not at this time.
What was that second weapon? You said an AK-47 and what?
A .40 caliber.
Is it possible more charges are coming?
It is possible, yes, sir.
What is it normal for like all these fraternities to have security guards? Is that a normal procedure? And what role did the University of Texas PD play in this?
Want to answer that?
In terms of
At the
Right here.
absolutely, in terms of security for off-campus events, that was at the discretion and direction of the sorority or fraternity that are hosting that event, and typically they do hire private security for that purpose.
Do you know what security company that was that night?
No, ma'am, I don't have that information.
How do you respond to how this situation was handled? They didn't call police, even though the guy made a threat that he was going to come and shoot them.
And, you know, part of our Be Safe campaign is if you feel unsafe, call 911. That was certainly a situation where they should have availed themselves of those services. But we do work closely with the Austin Police Department to provide support and security in the West Campus area.
Is there any university investigation into Sigma Chi at this time in terms of what their role would be?
No, sir.
So once the shooting happened, did the young man just kind of run off? Is that what happened?
Yes, is that as soon as the shooting took place, the individuals did take off and run. Like I said, by the time the officers arrived at the scene, the subjects had already left, realizing that they did live very close by to the fraternity house, so more than likely they were able to make it back to their residence before the officers arrived.
And was the security guard armed?
No, he was not an armed security guard.
Did he have any kind of pepper spray or, bat or something?
I'm unaware of that.
What caliber gun was used in the shooting?
We believe it was a small caliber weapon, but since the weapon was not retrieved and the Daniel was unable to provide us the exact details of the weapon.
Has he admitted to the shooting?
Yes, he has.
Can you describe, I guess, the arrest process that took place earlier today?
Are you talking about in regards to this particular incident
Yes.
that took place earlier? As I said, that we worked diligently for the last 24 hours. Anytime a shooting occurs, we want to make sure that we adequately do an investigation. We realize that this particular incident, being so close to the West Camp, or being on concerns with who the suspects were they students, were they not students? We had a lot of questions. We quickly investigated this diligently with not only our daytime but our nighttime detectives, and we were able to quickly get the suspect identified. As soon as the person was identified, we utilized our SWAT team to actually serve the warrant. He was taken into custody. All the individuals that were involved with this incident were questioned, and after he admitted to the shooting, and after we felt like we had enough information, he was booked into jail.
Can you talk about the increased security in West Campus? I know it's been discussed over and over, but what are the specifics? Like, how many more officers are there out there? And I mean, at nighttime, is that at peak time for you guys?
Well, I think that in regards to a lot of, I guess, highlighting the West Campus, West Campus is it's always been there. It's been a hot spot, especially when the students come back. We're always working with the University of Texas with our patrol officers as well as their patrol officers to be highly visible in the West Campus area. There are a lot of education aspects that not only University of Texas but as well as the Austin Police Department has provided the students in that area. So with officer presence, that's one key role, but we really believe that education is the key, is for our students not to be victims, and that is to be aware of their surroundings, walk more than one, is that you have 2 or 3 that'll walk together. There's so many other safety tips that clearly you can look on our website that we provide, as well as the University of Texas. But the safety of our students, the safety of our community as a whole is very important to us. But we realize that there has been some significant challenges in the West Campus, and we're continually working on making sure that we have the right personnel at the right time to address the problems.
Was the SWAT team delivering the warrant a normal situation?
Yes, because this was a situation, it was an aggravated assault. We always conduct a threat assessment, and due to the nature of the incident that he had already fired and shot an individual, this was the right response for our SWAT team to serve the warrant.
And this was the one that at midnight? Was
Yes,
this a
sir.
SWAT situation at midnight
Yes, sir.
there? Okay.
Can you use the same spelling name for the record?
It is Troy, T-R-O-Y, Gay, G-A-Y, Assistant Chief, Austin Police Department, and
Peter Sheets, first name is Peter, P-E-T-E-R, last name is Sheets, S-C-H-E-E-T-S, with the University of Texas Police Department.
Is it interesting that the small caliber weapon, and you think you have one thing, it's an aggravated assault, but then to find an AK-47 with the history of that gun? And
well, absolutely. I mean, I think although it may not be legal, but clearly with the current climate that we're in, anytime that we have a situation that someone has already shown that they can be violent, and that we also find an AK-47, is we clearly are going to continue to investigate this case, and it's already been said that there may be potentially other charges. But yes, that does cause us some alarm that this individual would have an AK-47.
last question.
I mean, what would you tell people? Obviously, these are still young adults, and so they feel they can do anything and maybe not get in trouble, or because they're drunk, their actions don't, count as they did it on purpose or maliciously maybe. But, what would you say to prevent this from happening in the future?
Well, I mean, the easiest thing is to not get to the point that you're going to be inebriated or always be in charge of your faculties. I mean, clearly when the Daniel was interviewed, he said that due to his high intoxication state and him on a drug, Xanax, that it caused him some extra excitement and exhilaration into committing this crime that he normally probably would not have, hopefully. So my message to our students, which I have one in college down the road, is that number one, if you're not 21, you shouldn't be drinking, and number two, if you are, is that you should drink responsibly. And I think that's why there was a security guard there. There was they had measures in to make sure that it was a peaceful and organized party. Unfortunately, things get out of control. So if you're a student and you go into a situation like that, is that it's time to leave. If things get to a point that they're getting out of control, then take yourself out of that situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.